I think the best piece of professional advice I ever received was from an old tutor in my first rotation as a doctor. And I remember we were sat in the office and we were talking about, where I saw myself going and what I saw myself doing. And I kind of explained that I wasn't sure if clinical medicine was for me, but I didn't really know if I could do what was kind of in my head. And she basically said to me, everyone will tell you that you have to follow these defined paths, and especially in medicine, where you from the day you enter kind of medical school, you're kind of on this treadmill almost, where you're working with the consultants and you can see your life in theirs in 20, 40 years time. And she said, crumple that up and throw it away and just create the path that is right for you. And if you don't know what that is, just go and do things that make you think more, make you better, interest you, take the risks, and just throw yourself into new situations. And as long as you're always learning, you always kind of find your feet. And look, there's obviously there are a bunch of different things that can go wrong with that, but for me it was kind of the first time someone in that kind of position had said to me, you don't need to follow this path. Like, it's I haven't, and it's okay. If you look at all the other people that inspire you and you want to emulate, have they taken those straightforward paths? And the answer was always no for me. And so that kind of gave me almost the courage to start thinking about, okay, well, look, this is what I'm going to do right now. And then as soon as I get a different opportunity, if it interests me, I'll just go and do it. And that led me to my first job in digital health, where I got some incredible exposure across a range of things and really got into the depths of everything around regulation and product and clinical risk and new pathway design. And it just, from doing that and realizing that the world doesn't end and you can go back, and I went back and practiced clinically after, and no one judged me for it. And if anything, it just kind of, everyone's always said it's great to hear what, a colorful career pathway you've had. And that's something that I now always say to people. I kind of just, if you want to go do something for a few years, go do it. You can come back. As long as you can demonstrate that you're learning and you're passionate and you're doing it. Doesn't even matter if you go and take 2 years off for a holiday and you just go and travel. If that's the thing that you need to come back and be better, then no one's ever going to challenge that. And so that for me just was freeing and liberating, and it's something that I still kind of hopefully can still follow through with now and will continue to do for the rest of my career. I think it's just so with this, I think it's that I'm much more comfortable in believing it rather than just knowing it. So it's around being okay to fail and look stupid. I think, when you're a kid, you fail all the time. You trip over and you fall and you graze your knee and you carry on, you get back up and you just keep going. And then as you kind of get older, that pressure to always look like you know what you're doing, and even practicing, you always need to kind of have this front of, yes, I'm confident, I know what I'm doing, but actually it's completely fine to say that I don't know. And it's often better. People respect you more if you understand your limitations, if you know when something is outside of your depth. It's about knowing how far you can push yourself safely, stumble a little bit, and then call in for help. And saying I don't know means you learn more. Saying I don't know means you are challenging yourself. If you're always comfortable, always saying, I know what I'm doing here, I know everything, I'm the smartest person in the room, then for me personally, I think that's a really boring place to be. I like to get to a point where I really don't know something anymore and I'm really out of my depth, which is incredibly stressful sometimes. But when you look back retrospectively, you've learned so much, even if at the time you felt that you were just like flailing your limbs and struggling to keep your head above water. You know, it means that next time, actually, things are a lot easier, that you've been able to call in people who can provide you those kind of shortcuts almost to learned experiences. You know, call on those people who you know have some answers and you can learn from. Everyone has something to offer. And so even in those people who you perhaps doubt, just opening that dialogue, one, enables you to, it's much easier to point out where you disagree with someone, on kind of starting from a point of almost criticism, so that you can kind of learn, okay, well, that's definitely not what I want to do, just as much as it is to be able to pull learned lessons from those who inspire you and make you want to be better. I guess you can kind of think about this stage in digital biomarker exploration, or, you know, exploration is probably a good word to describe it, as, you know, the training before something like a marathon. You know, people are working out their routines, they're working out their approach, they're working out how they're going to win and how they're going to sustain, you know, their good timing. And, you know, if you don't do that training and you rock up on the first day, everyone's gonna, it's not a competition, right? You're not even in the race. And you have to put in the legwork now, and you have to put in that hard work and investment. And, you know, realistically, compared to how much you can spend on drug development, the investment you need to put in the space is not massive. But the long-term value add it provides across the whole value chain is massive if you get it right, and if you have defined what your boundaries are for kind of extracting that value. So I think, you know, this is an incredibly important time. Everyone needs to pull their weight, and everyone needs to work collaboratively, because this is only going to work if people work collaboratively together.